everyone, and welcome back to Cosplay Tea Time, a fun community of cosplayers bringing you podcast recordings featuring animes, colors, holidays, and the art of cosplaying, which might include sewing, props, mental health, and occasionally we talk about why do we cosplay? Why did we start this journey? So before we get into all of that and discussing our stories and adventures, I want to take a moment to introduce our guest and tea sippers, starting with...
Hi, I'm BelladonnaRoseCosplays, and today I'm cosplaying Deku. He's one of my new ones.
So exciting. And where can people find you at?
So people can find me on TikTok and YouTube. I do have a link tree in my TikTok account, so those are, more places you can kind of find me.
Gotta love Linktree. Hashtag not sponsored or sponsored by any brands or companies we may mention. So, but if you want to, we have an email somewhere. So, alrighty. My name is Jen. I've been a cosplayer for about 2.5, almost 3 years. I'm cosplaying as one of my OCs. Her name is Miranda Lynn. She's a casino owner, and you don't want to double cross her. We'll put it that way. So, you can find me on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram at JenCosplays45. So, yay! We're all gathered here. So, I do want to mention real quick before we get into our questions. The topic we're going to be discussing, it might be a bit sensitive at times, might feel a little bit heavy. To our viewers out there, if you're listening and at some point while we're talking, if it just becomes a little bit too much, hit that pause button. We're not going anywhere. Hit that pause button, get up, stretch, drink some water or some tea. Got a lovely lavender Earl Grey here with some honey to sweeten it. Do like a nice activity, take deep breaths, and then, if you're willing to continue to watch, that's great. If not, that's okay too. So we want to make sure that everyone is safe and protected. So, alrighty, so that kind of wraps that little nutshell. So what we're going to do is, instead of our usual icebreakers, or what they've been calling in the server Weissbreakers, because we're all diehard Ruby fans, we're going to go ahead and jump right in with the very first question being, why do you cosplay?
So, I cosplay because for me it's a healthy outlet to just, not just be myself and be another character, but to also experiment with sewing, experiment with budget, experiment with what I can use around my house. Just and on top of that, experiment with wig styling, because in case if you don't know, a lot of what we do in hair we can do on wigs and experiment too. Same thing vice versa. I would suggest working on a mannequin just to figure these styles out, or just using a wig. But okay, I'm squirreling.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah, so but just to sum it up, cosplay, the reason why I do it is because it's a healthy outlet and it's a great outlet, and in my opinion it's a really great community. If you don't focus on all of the negativity Cheerios out there, so
Oh, goodness. It's funny because we just bought Cheerios today, and I'm like, what's wrong with Cheerios? No, you're fine.
My sister eats Cheerios.
I love them. They're so good. So, yeah, so it's like experimenting. It's something new, something different. So, it's so funny you mentioned like the mannequin. I actually just set up my little mannequin head because I got a new wig that I need to style myself. So, and I was doing a little bit of that before I started the call. So, it's just something nice to pass the time. Many folks, if you've been following me for a while, I did an interview with Demon Interviews, aka Springy, aka our resident Jean here in Cosplay Tea Time, he interviewed me about a year or so ago, and I kind of went more in depth because that was like my hour where I could talk about cosplay, and he didn't shut me up. So, but
Oh my
very,
gosh, facts.
yeah. If you want an interview, Demon Interviews is the place to go for that. So I did have my moment where I kind of talked about it. So the reason why I cosplay is because back in 2020, when this whole global pandemic hit, I was home a lot. I was actually working on my master's degree, and I was like sitting in front of the computer for like 10, 11 hours a day, like doing papers, doing meetings and stuff, and kept getting headaches. And I'm like, I need to do an activity like away from the screen. And I was like, well, I don't know what to do. So, I'm looking up on like Pinterest, like, there's bracelet making, there's different activities and stuff, coloring and all that. But I really love fashion. I've always been like a fashionista and whatnot. I had like the trunk full of dress up clothes and tried to create new styles in high school and whatnot. I worked in retail for a long time. And that's when I was digging around in my closet for something. I had a pink skater skirt and a white t shirt, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I almost have Nora Valkyrie from Ruby, like almost her outfit. And then found a jacket at the thrift store that I sewed and had some help with my mother to make her jacket. And then that's when it kind of hit me like, oh, like cosplaying's fun and it doesn't have to be like super expensive or time consuming or anything like that. So yeah, it just became this little outlet so that way whenever I needed a break or if I had some downtime, I'm like, I'm going to dress up as Nora. She was the only cosplay I had for a while. Now I have too many. But, I would dress up as her and just have fun, take photos, eat pancakes wearing her outfit. I mean, who's going to stop me? But yeah, I really enjoy cosplaying and I want to do it for many, many years. So, all right, next up we have what inspired you to cosplay?
So for me, it's not really like a what inspired me like individually. It's more of a who inspired me. So this cosplayer, I think she's been on the scene for maybe about 10 years or something, almost 10 years, but she's been cosplaying a long time. It's Mangaloo Cosplays. She does it full time now because she's able to, and the stuff and the skill that she has in making her costumes and her props is just amazing. And I remember sitting there as a freshman in high school in my history class and finding her pictures like the internet automatically or something because hey, I'm like, wait, what is this? And I'm like, oh, it's cosplay. And then that's how I figured out what cosplay was. I'm like, I really want to do this. So sophomore year, I um I ordered my first cosplay. It was actually Kosei Arina, but I never debuted him. But the second cosplay I got was Ruby Rose, and but she was my first debut. So
Yes. Ruby Rose. Yes. I guess
right
maybe I should
now,
change it. Oh, go ahead. So yeah, I guess I should make it a what slash who inspired. Um, so I guess mine's kind of double that. Like the what inspired me, I did want to cosplay many years ago when I first started undergraduate, and again Pinterest. I was seeing like all kinds of cosplayers come up and how to make cosplay, like where to buy stuff and whatnot. But the thing was, you need money and you need time, and those were two things that I didn't have as an undergrad because I was busy focused on finishing up my degree. So I was just like, well, I can support from the sidelines. So that's what I kind of did. Um, but then, I got into closet cosplaying. I found out closet cosplaying was a thing, just finding random pieces, putting it together, going to thrift stores, doing a little bit of sewing here and there. And then that's when I found the Ruby community, the Ruby cosplay community, and they were also wonderful and wholesome. So that really helped a lot too. I guess it's part of the who as well. I guess it's like a who and a what. But also too, and I mentioned this in Demon interviews real quick. Lindsay Sterling also does like a bunch of extravagant music videos. She just came out with Snow Waltz and has been showing the behind the scenes of how she made the costumes and all the crafting she had to do, all the sewing, how she made the skeleton rib cages with hot glue. And I was just like, wow, that is incredible. So it's like you take one simple thing and it becomes this beautiful piece of like costuming, and it's just like, yeah, I did that. So can have a little bit of pride in your work. Alrighty, so next up we have what makes you a cosplayer? So all of a sudden somebody's waving a magic wand and they're like, you're a cosplayer. So what makes you a cosplayer?
I think what really makes me a cosplayer is just not the fact that I dress up as a character, but it's how I impact the person or the people I'm cosplaying around. I mean, you could have people who, see you cosplay, a character and they don't really feel fond of that character, but they still think it's cool. Then you have other people who are like, I really love this character. Can I please take a picture? And definitely when I go out in public and cosplay, I'm not saying every cosplayer does this, but I do this just for, people who are like, oh my gosh, you're this character, you're that character. I always encourage, do you want to take a picture with me? Because I know you want to remember this moment. I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, most of them. So I'm like, so yeah, I do it to make people smile most of the time. And yeah.
No, that's good. Yeah, keep it wholesome so that way people don't like have like a stigma against the cosplay community and stuff like that. But you're like, hey, like let's take a photo, make it fun and entertaining for them too. So do you like that idea? Yeah. So what kind of made me a cosplayer was just being able to dress up and portray characters that I love, especially like Nora Valkyrie, Pyrrha Nikos, different characters and whatnot. And then not only that, but making friends with the cosplay community, gaining insight from them, and then also to like the cosplay community, like trying to see how I can help or how to make an impact. So it's kind of like it starts individual, and this is also a textbook trick too. It starts individual, it's like me trying to create, then you branch off to your friends, like, hey, can you help? Or what do you think about this? You need hype. And then it's like a community that's something much, much bigger. So, okay, next up we have, uh, what are some ways you respond to hate comments or people who are confused by you cosplay?
Well, for the people who are concerned, or not concerned,
Confused.
confused with me cosplaying, I apologize. But for the people who are confused on why I cosplay, I try to explain to them in a way where they understand, as um, and I really explain it in a way like they can personally understand it to themselves. Because everybody has like a way that they understand stuff in their own way. And then there are the hate comments. It's either I ignore it or I delete it. Well, most of the time, I delete it just because I don't want other cosplayers or younger people who think it's cool to
Mm-hmm.
cosplay like to come on my page and be like discouraged about cosplaying because all of my social media where you see me cosplaying, like I only cosplay and appear on social media cosplaying. My pages are supposed to be a safe space for everybody except for like weird, creepy people and stuff. Like I scare those people off easily. Like I know how to do it now. There's a time when I didn't know how to do it, and now I know how to do it. And at that point, I don't care about how many followers I have. I just care about like if I make you happy, great. If I don't, okay. It's really a hit or miss.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of how I respond to people who are confused or hate and stuff. With my family, it's a little bit different. But with people online, it's like, eh.
If not, we'll come over there and we'll teach him a lesson. Yeah, we don't
I'll
double
heat this
cross.
boy up.
Oh no!
I'll heat this boy up.
No.
And I'm coming at you.
Aw. Yeah, so.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah, you're good, you're good. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way too. Like, if I get a hate comment, I'm just like, whatever. Report and block. Very beautiful feature on all social media accounts. So, I mean, I do kind of like internalize it, and I'm like, was it really that bad? But then, I do have folks that I talk to, and they're like, no, you're doing great, you're doing fine. So, yeah, the other reason, and I know like some social media apps, this might be a conversation for another type, but real quick, in case if anyone needs this, you can like filter your messages so that way only friends can post or only like certain people can post, and that way if someone's not following you or friends with you, they can't post on your, or excuse me, they can't comment on your post. So that's a fun little feature. But yes, so I normally block those types of people. I'm just like, well, if you can't just simply scroll, then you don't get to see me anymore. So adios. I know there's been some like, I don't know how to explain this. I was trying to figure out a way to explain this, but it's like a way to raise awareness. Like there might be like somebody makes a post and they're like, don't interact with this person, like they're being mean and spiteful and whatnot. And then like people will share that post around, so that way that you can go and block them or report them. So I'm always keeping an eye out for those as well. And then for the confusing part, I did have family members at the beginning that were kind of like, well, what are you doing? Why all of a sudden are you wearing wigs and dressing up and you're posting photos on Facebook and stuff? And I didn't know what to say at the time. I was just kind of like, this is just what I'm doing. But I realize now that I like cosplaying. I like it because it's fun, it's entertaining, it's something neat to do, it's something I get to do for myself. Like I said before, I love fashion. I have a whole page in my autobiography where it's like me doing like a fashion show and stuff, just different types of fashion. So, I get to be able to express my creativity. So, and I do have a couple family members out there that do support what I do and are just like, yeah, like that wig color looks great on you, or I really like how you designed this sweater or jacket. So, props to them. Alrighty. Next up, we have what motivates you to cosplay?
Really, just what motivates me to cosplay is just constantly being surrounded by characters I like that make me feel valid in myself. They make me not worry about the outside. Um, it is, and also the constant question we get every week on a quiz in that we had in cosmetology school was, it's something that you should not be doing in the salon. And one of the answers was looking at, your peers around you and seeing what they're doing. And I kind of just applied that to life.
There you go. That is well said. Yeah, because once you start looking at other people and their art and what they're doing, then it's like, oh, well, should I be doing that? Or it becomes like this internal feeling.
It's either you are inspired by it or you don't look at it.
Yep.
You're inspired by it or you don't look at it.
Makes sense.
It's great to look at something if you're gonna get inspired.
Yeah.
Just gonna put that out there. I'm not saying like to not look and be inspired. Like I need to do
that. You take a quick little glance, like 0.5 seconds, and then that's pretty hard. So. No, I know what you mean. So it's kind of like, you kind of want to do your own thing. You kind of want to experiment and figure out what's right for you. But sometimes it's hard not to look at somebody else and be like, oh, well, theirs is better. Or, oh my gosh, like they're doing such a great job. So try to keep a hype up in here.
believe that anybody who starts out cosplaying or who's been cosplaying for years, no matter what character you're cosplaying, you look good because you're happy. A lot of people would look at me cosplaying Deku right now and they might think, you don't fit Deku, but I'm happy cosplaying Deku, so therefore it fits. If you're happy, it fits. I applaud everybody for that. Okay, Jen, let's move on. If you hadn't answered the question, I
Oh,
feel like I'm rambling.
oh no, you're fine. Rambles are fine. Lost my place. Nope, I found it. Okay. Yes. So motivation is very hard. I know for me today it was very hard to get motivated to get into Miranda Lynn and whatnot, but I found music is always helpful. Getting ready and whatnot, and then also to just like a couple tips and tricks. Take it slow. Take it like one step at a time. Like, I'll do my hair first, or I'll do my makeup and get dressed and put on the wig and stuff like that. So, and take deep breaths along the way. Don't try to force yourself or pressure yourself to get into cosplay. The other thing too is like social media is also, because lately with the whole algorithm and sparkles here, uh, it's been kind of crazy. But yeah, sometimes it's like, one video does well, and then next week it's like no videos do well, or no photos do well. So that also makes it hard too, because it's like, well, are people seeing what I like? Am I not posting good enough? So, but again, it's about making yourself happy. If you like your photo and you post it, then, you should be able to enjoy that. So I know it's hard if you want people to look and see, but it's by sharing. Find those cosplay appreciation pages and tag them so they can share your wonderful artwork. Alrighty. Actually, I have one more question for the evening, which is, how do you connect with the cosplay community?
I connect with the cosplay community by, saying, hey, I'm here. And then the way that I connect and impact the cosplay community, which that's two different things, wrapped up in the one present, is I actively teach. I actively teach about it. I have these students under my belt right now. And, anytime I find something that I can teach them, I go ahead and I teach them. And they're like, oh my gosh, thank you, because like these are people that actually want to learn how to cosplay. And me cosplaying for as long as I have been cosplaying, like almost 4 or 5 years now, um, I'm here and they look at me like, oh my gosh, you're so good. And really, I'm only good within myself. And so whatever I have learned in myself, I can teach them. I know the first lesson I will teach anybody is money and finance when it comes to cosplaying,
Mm-hmm.
because I remember cosplaying for the first time and I would just go broke within like that one evening of having that money. I would, and nobody would teach me how to manage a budget or
Mm-hmm.
anything. So that's kind of the first thing that I teach. And then I go off into other things and stuff. And there is such of a way on how to improve your cosplay quickly. You just need to think smart on how to do it. Meaning that you have to put in time into what you want to be
Yep.
doing. So yeah,
Money and time.
that's that's how I'm
Yeah.
not just involved with the cosplay community, but that's how I actually impact the cosplay community. I also inspire people who want to start, like, go ahead, start, don't
Yeah.
worry about it.
Absolutely.
People, they're gonna look at you, and a lot of times they might be idiots, but you just gotta do your thing, and you just gotta be happy when you look at yourself in the mirror. That's just how it goes. Yeah. And you just gotta set some boundaries too when you're on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my boundaries to stay in cosplay on the internet and to not have a video where I'm at a cosplay on the internet, or to show myself when I'm not in cosplay, like from maybe like my hair and up. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of just how I like impact. I just get involved actively.
Those are really good responses. Really loved them. So, yeah. Let's see. So, connecting with people. I do try to respond to people whenever they like comment or like a photo. Commenting hasn't been the best, but you know what? That's okay. I always try to thank people for their comments because I'm like, hey, you left a comment, so it might take a while. It might just be a bunch of random heart emojis, and I'm just like, oh, heart emojis. Here, have some back. So whatever helps. I think Cosplay Tea Time has really helped with me getting into the cosplay community, meeting other cosplayers, hearing like their little bits and pieces and like what to bring to the table, what we should be talking about. So, but yeah, just like that also too. I keep wanting to do more. I have an idea right now. I don't know if it'll be posted when this gets posted. If not, stay tuned. I don't know. I'm trying to think, but it's gonna be awesome. So I'm trying to figure out how to get more involved with the cosplay community, and also too. I see another cosplayer in chat. I guess like either online. We have like a Discord server filled with cosplayers. We have like different little animes like Spy X Family, Sailor Moon. That's been our most popular channel, Ruby and stuff. And we just all chat and we all help each other with cosplay tips. So it's really just, like being there, listening to people, and then also too, just offering help whenever needed. Because I feel like I'm still a baby, even though I'm coming up on 3 years. But there are people who have been in the cosplay field for so long that it's just like, wow. That's awesome and overwhelming. But cosplay is what you make it. As long as you're having fun, you're happy with your cosplay, whether it's bought or you made it yourself. I saw a photo the other day. I don't remember the whole thing. I shared it somewhere else. I can't remember where. But it was like, it's not cos runway, it's cosplay. So we should all be having fun, experimenting and whatnot, and not just like, oh my gosh, like it has to be this perfect detail or it has to be this kind of fabric. Make it your own. That's what cosplay is all about. Alrighty, but that about wraps up my questions for this podcast recording. Why do we cosplay? Hopefully we answered it. But before we take off, I would like to turn it over to my guest and tea sippers. The questions.
That your only guest and tea sipper.
The only one.
But, I don't really have any questions for like the entire sippers and guests and stuff. Yep. But I do have a question for our viewers. What is the one thing you like about Cosplay Tea Time, or what you like about the whole cosplay,
just our show or
environment in general?
Yeah.
I know we have a lot of people who like to create drama in the world of cosplay, but
yeah.
I want to let you know that those people, they don't know what they are doing in treating people right, I guess.
Yeah. Hence.
But yeah.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. What was your favorite thing about the cosplay community?
Yeah. It makes it seem so appealing and whatnot. So there's a lot of good things about the cosplay community. There's, like I said before, a lot of wholesome people, just people that want to chat about certain shows or about different cosplays. You do like little interviews, like demon interviews and whatnot. You get to talk about cosplaying. You really just, whether it's your full-time job or something you do as a hobby, like you'll meet people along the way that will help inspire and motivate, and you can go to for guidance or whatnot, especially if you're a baby cosplayer, because I didn't really have that. So I was kind of figuring it out on my own until we did Cosplay Tea Time. Now it's like I have Bella on wigs, Mars on sewing. It's like we got it all. So, but yes. So So I think that about wraps it up. So again, we had a question for you all, so make sure you respond down below. Thank you, Bella, for joining me, taking the time to talk about this. It was a lot of fun. Hopefully we answered everyone's questions. Sometime next year we will do a little bit more lighthearted. We'll do like a podcast recording where everybody shares like their cosplay stories, how they started. It'll be a bit more upbeat. We'll put it that way. But until then, be sure to check out Cosplay Tea Time on all the socials. We'll have a link tree down below if you want to join our amazing cosplay community here, join a podcast recording, or just come chat about random animes. Do be sure to message us on Instagram, and we'll get you that Discord link. So, until then, thank you all for watching. Make sure you stay safe, take care, and keep sipping away. Bye, everyone.